Alright, Richie here with your Saturday previews. I just did a Friday preview. Go check out that video as well. So we'll start off Kansas State, Iowa State. This might be even Kansas State. They had a nice win against Texas Tech. Iowa State's coming off a loss to Texas. Iowa State, I would say, I would say they'll win it. But Kansas State, they're 5 wins. They're trying to get to a bowl game. So I go with Kansas State in the end. BYU taking on Utah. BYU's a strong team, but Utah's, I think, better. And I think this could be kind of a pretty close game. It's, both Utah teams. It's a rivalry game. I think it's called the Holy War. But in the end, I think Utah wins. Illinois taking on Northwestern. Illinois, they did not show up against Iowa. Northwestern, they seem to be a pretty good team. They're going to go to the Big Ten championship game. I think they want to get out of that one, without any injuries. But I think Northwestern is a better team. So I think Northwestern will win. Arizona State is the Arizona rivalry game. Both have good quarterbacks. Manny Wilkins for Arizona State and Kihire at wide receiver, one of the best receivers in the country. Benjamin, one of the best running backs, at least in the Pac-12. Arizona's got J.J. Taylor, one of the best running backs in the Pac-12. They have Khalil Tate at quarterback, one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country. This should be interesting. Arizona's kind of been up and down this year. I'm going to go with Arizona, mainly because they have a little bit of oomph. They're trying to get to a bowl game. They're at 5 wins. They want to get to their 6th win, get to a bowl. So I'm going to go with Arizona. But that game should be pretty fun. It might be pretty decently high scoring. Maybe in the 30s or so, something like that. 31-28, something like that. Stanford taking on UCLA. Stanford cannot take UCLA lightly. UCLA's record, they're better than their record showed. Joshua Kelly, running back, ran for 289 rushing yards. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing this year. This really very well could go to UCLA, but I'm going to go with Stanford in the end. I think they're a bit better team in the end. KJ Costello's had a really, really good year throwing the ball, which is surprising for Stanford. They normally run it, but I think Stanford in the end gets it. Colorado and Cal. Cal's got a really good defense, not a great offense. Colorado, they're weird. They started the season 5-0, and then they've gone 0-6. I think they ended up getting this win. They want to get to a bowl. They missed out last year barely as well. They went 5-7 and just missed last year. I think they get it this time, and I think Colorado will win. Rutgers and Michigan State. Michigan State should win. Rutgers is freaking terrible. Michigan State will win. Oklahoma State against TCU. Oklahoma State had an awesome win against West Virginia. Taylor Cornelius, really good. They have great players all around. Taylor Cornelius, the quarterback. Tylan Wallace, at wide receiver. Justice Hill, a running back. Chuba Hubbard, a running back. They have great receivers all around. TCU, Jalen Reagor is about all they have. They have a really good receiver. He's a great receiver, actually. TCU might be motivated. They're trying to get to that 6th win, but I just can't see it from TCU. And plus, Oklahoma State to me they're 6-5, but they're much better than that 6-5 record. They only lost by a point to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago. They destroyed a really good Boise State team earlier this year. I think Oklahoma State ends up winning it. All right, Baylor, Texas Tech. This might be kind of high scoring. Both teams kind of coming off disappointing losses to teams they probably were better than. Both teams are 5-6. So this is basically a bowl elimination game. Whoever wins will get to a bowl. Whoever loses will go home. I'm going to go with Texas Tech in the end to get it, to just barely get it done. They have Antoine Wesley, one of the best receivers in the nation in it. But this very well could go back and forth. I'm going to go with Texas Tech there. Southern Methodist taking on Tulsa. Tulsa's kind of tough, but Southern Methodist, they played some teams really tough. They beat some teams or barely lost. They're 5-6. They want to get to a bowl. I think that'll be enough motivation. I think SMU wins. Michigan, Ohio State, game day is going to be there. Everybody knows the rivalry between them. Michigan is number 4. They're trying to cement their place into the playoffs. Ohio State's trying to get into the playoffs if they can win. Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback, to me is a Heisman quarterback for Ohio State. Michigan's got Shea Patterson, running back Ron Higdon. This will be a really good game. I think it'll be close. I think in the end, Ohio State ends up winning here. So Ohio State with that. Georgia Tech, Georgia's ranked number 5. Georgia Tech, their triple option is really hard to stop. They pose a very real challenge for Georgia. I almost wanted to go with this upset here, but I'll give the edge to Georgia, but Georgia, you're on upset alert. Syracuse and Boston College both coming off disappointing wins. Syracuse got destroyed by Notre Dame. Boston College lost at the last second to a terrible FSU team. I ended up going with Syracuse here, but Eric Dungey at quarterback, I think he was hurt. We'll see if he's in, but I think their backup Tommy DeVito. In games earlier this year, he played pretty well. They have a pretty good offense. Boston College, they have one of the best running backs in the country in A.J. Dillon. Their defense is usually pretty good. But this will be a really interesting game, and I think Syracuse in the end gets it. Florida State. Florida looked really good last week. They put up 63, yes, against Idaho, but their offense hadn't looked that good in really years. Their defense is still good. Florida State has been terrible this year. Florida State, they're trying to win and get to a bowl. It'd be nothing better than the Gators. Florida State's gone to a bowl 36 straight years. If they lose to Florida, they will not go. I think the Gators end up winning. Navy facing Tulane. Two basically kind of triple option teams. Navy's more so the pure triple option. Tulane does pass it a little bit more. But in the end, Tulane, they have 5 wins. They're trying to get to a bowl. They were inches from getting a bowl game last year. The very last game of the season, they scored a touchdown with no time left to win. The referee said he did not get in. I think it was a bullshit call. Even now, thinking about it, this is annoying because you could fucking see it over and whatever. I think Tulane, that'll motivate them, and they will get this win and go to a bowl. So I think Tulane, but this could be a pretty close game though. Again, another close game. Marshall facing Florida International. Both good offenses. Marshall's got 7 wins. Florida International's got 8. They're trying to win. If Florida International wins, they'll win the CUSA East. I think it'll be. I should have written these down. Yeah, they'll clinch this USA East division. And that I think Florida National in the end will get it done. But that'll be close one. Alright, Western Kentucky taking on Louisiana Tech. Western Kentucky is pretty bad. Louisiana Tech's a pretty good team. They've already got 7 wins. I think they get to number 8 without much of a problem. Alright, Purdue taking on Indiana. This is a rivalry. Both teams in Indiana. Both teams have been playing pretty well. Purdue, they killed Ohio State earlier. Indiana almost, they kept it really close against Michigan. Both are going to be motivated other than rivalry. Both are 5 and 6. Whoever wins goes to a bowl. Whoever wins goes home. I think it'll be Purdue in the end, but this will be a really good game. A really close game, I think. NC State taking on North Carolina. North Carolina's offense is no slouch, even though their record is. But NC State's, I think NC State should win. It might be pretty high scoring, but I think NC State should win. Kind of an interesting Wake Forest Demon Deacons taking on Duke Blue Devils. This could go either way. Wake Forest will be extra motivated. They're at 5 and 6. They want to get to a bowl game. They're trying to get there. I don't think it will happen. I don't think Duke is that much better. Wake Forest could very well win it, but I just think Duke is probably, just a little bit too good. And I think Duke will win. But that's one worth watching. Could go either way. Old Dominion taking on Rice. Rice is pretty terrible. Old Dominion, they're okay. They're 4 and 7. I think they get to 5 and 7 with a win. New Mexico State taking on Liberty. Liberty, they got humiliated by Auburn last week. I think their offense bounces back. They have a really good quarterback, Stephen Calvert, a really good wide receiver, Antonio Gandy Golden. And I think New Mexico State, they can potentially put up some points, pass it a little bit. But I think Liberty gets the win here. Georgia Southern, Georgia State. Georgia Southern's got one of the best running games in the country. They should win this one pretty easily. I'll go Georgia Southern. This one is interesting. Wyoming taking on New Mexico. New Mexico is not a very good team. They have potential on offense. Wyoming, they're 5-6. They're trying to get to a bowl, trying to win that 6 game to get to bowl eligibility. I think Wyoming ends up with it. I think they do in the end, but they shouldn't take New Mexico lightly. All right, Troy. This might be one of the games of the Sun Belt. Troy taking on Appalachian State. Now this game is going to decide the Sun Belt East division, and both teams' offenses are really good, defenses are really good. Both basically like top 20 to 30 offenses, top 20 to 30 defenses. Troy 7-0 in Sun Belt play. Appalachian State is 6-1 in Sun Belt play. This could go either way. Whoever wins, like I said, will go to the Sun Belt Championship game. I think Appalachian State personally will win, but this is one of the games of the day. Period. I don't care what conference you're in. I'm gonna pay attention to that. Southern Miss taking on UTEP. UTEP's not a very good team. Southern Miss proved they can be. They beat a good Louisiana Tech team. They're at 5-5. If they win this, they'll go to a bowl. I think they do. So I think, Southern Miss should win. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Their quarterback, Jack Abraham, he's come back from injury, played well enough to beat Louisiana Tech, so I think they keep it rolling. All right, one of the other big games of the Sun Belt, Louisiana Raging Cajuns taking on the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. Both teams are already bowl eligible. Both teams are trying to get to the Sun Belt West Division. They're trying to win the Sun Belt West Division in this one. Basically, if Louisiana Raging Cajuns win, they're in. If Louisiana Monroe wins, they have to hope Arkansas State loses so they can get in. It's a rivalry game. The stakes are high. They're trying to win get to the Sun Belt. In the end, I went with the Raging Cajuns to win, but it's coin toss. Could go either way. All right, UAB taking on Middle Tennessee State. UAB has already clinched the CUSA West Division, and Middle Tennessee, they potentially could win the CUSA East. They would need to win and have Florida International lose, but if they do, these two teams may very well play each other the very next weekend with much higher stakes for a Conference USA Championship crown at the end. This could go either way, but I'm going to give the edge. I'm going to go with UAB to actually win. Alright, Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl, big rivalry. I don't think so. Auburn's got a shot, maybe. Alabama struggled in the first half against the Citadel, but to me, this is Alabama. Alabama should win. Maryland taking on Penn State. Now, before last week, I would say Penn State, right? But Penn State struggled, barely beat Rutgers. Maryland went off on Ohio State. They ran for 300 yards. They put up 51 points. They lost at overtime 52-51. But Penn State, while their offense is good, Tracy McSorley is a really good quarterback. Miles Sanders is a really good running back. They're still not the same offense that Ohio State is. Now, Penn State's defense is probably better than Ohio State's, but I'm going to go with Maryland. Maryland, to me, has been pretty good all year. They're trying to get to that 6th win. They've been trying to get to it for weeks and weeks now. I think they finally do, and Maryland gets it. That'll be interesting to watch. I would keep my eye on it. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going with Maryland in the end. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Minnesota, they're trying to get to a bowl. If they win, they can get in. But Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor, the best running back in the country. He's only 131 rushing yards away from 2,000 rushing yards. He might have that. He went for 321 yesterday. He might have that in the first half. I think Wisconsin ends up winning this one. Pittsburgh, they won the ACC the ACC, they won their division in the ACC, right? They have a really good running game. They won the ACC Coastal. They have a really good running game. With Quadri Allison and running for 1,000 yards, Darren Evans will probably, I think Darrell Evans, he'll probably get over 1,000 yards by the end of the year. Miami, they finally got to their 6th win, finally got to a bowl game. They're going to go to a bowl game. Miami's got a shot, but Pitt seems way too focused right now. Their quarterback play is actually better at Pitt. Kenny Pickett threw for 316 in the last game. I think Pitt ends up winning in the end. Temple taking on UConn. Temple is a really good team. UConn's shown they can't do much of anything. Temple should win, and this might not be too close. Arkansas State taking on Texas State. Now, Texas State, they held Troy. Really, really good Troy team that's won 10 games the last 2 years, has 9 wins now. They held Troy to only 4 field goals, but Troy was able to hold it, make it stand up. And they lost 12-7. They're taking on Arkansas State, who is trying to win the Sun Belt West Division here. If they win and Louisiana Monroe wins, then Arkansas State will win the Sun Belt West. I think Arkansas State shouldn't have much of a problem. Justice Hansen's a really good quarterback. Their offense is really good. I think they win. All right, Tennessee taking on Vanderbilt. It's another rivalry. It's another game. Both teams are 5-6. They're trying to get to a bowl. Whoever wins goes home. Whoever wins goes, gets to travel. Whoever loses goes home. Tennessee's shown something, but I think Vanderbilt beat a really good Ole Miss team. I think Vanderbilt in the end, but this will go either way. It's worth keeping an eye on. Charlotte taking on Florida Atlantic. Charlotte, they played Florida National really tough. They only lost 42-35. Florida Atlantic better not take them lightly. That being said, I think Florida Atlantic will have some extra motivation. They're 5-6. They want to get back to a bowl. Their year is not nearly what they had last year. Last year they won 11 games. This year they're struggling to get to a bowl. I think Devin Singletary, running back, leading the nation with 22 rushing touchdowns. I think there'll be a little too much for Charlotte. I think Florida Atlantic should win, but that'll be an interesting one. South Carolina take on Clemson. Yeah, it's rivalry. South Carolina could win, but I can't see it. Clemson might roll on this one. Kentucky taking on Louisville. Louisville is terrible. Kentucky's not great, still, in my opinion. I mean, Louisville could come out, sneak up, jump up, bite them, beat them, whatever. I don't think so. I think Kentucky ends up in the winning there. San Jose State, Fresno State. Fresno State's one of the best group of 5 teams. San Jose State's one of the worst teams, period. Maybe in all of college football, including 1AA, Division 2, 3, go to junior college. So Fresno State should win pretty easy. Again, North Texas, really good passing game. Mason Fine, a really good quarterback. DeAndre Torres, really good running back. UTSA doesn't have a whole lot going for him. North Texas, I feel, should win pretty big. This will be a good one. LSU taking on Texas A&M. LSU, they have some potential on offense. Nick Brissett at running back. Their defense is always really strong. Texas A&M, they have one of the best running backs in the country, in Travion Williams. Kellen Mond's a pretty decent quarterback. This will go back and forth. I'm actually going for the upset here. I think A&M wins this game. But, it's one of the games of the night, one of the games of the day there. Notre Dame taking on USC. I wish USC could come out. USC will be motivated to rival against Notre Dame. They're 5-6. USC wants to get to a bowl game. But Notre Dame, they've gotten a lot better as the season has gone on. Ian Book's a great quarterback. Dexter Williams is a good running back. Their defense is freaking awesome. And USC's been pretty terrible. I can't see USC even keeping it close. I think Notre Dame wins pretty big here. All right, Nevada taking on UNLV. It's an in-state rivalry. UNLV almost beat Hawaii. They did beat San Diego State a couple weeks ago, so Nevada should take them seriously. And Nevada is not like a powerhouse team. They've won 7 games. They've had a nice season. UNLV has Lexington Thomas. He's already got 1,000 yards rushing. I'm going to go with Nevada, the Wolfpack in the end, to win that one, but that'll be close. All right, one of the games I can't wait for, Utah State taking on Boise State. Both are going for the Mountain West, trying to get to the Mountain West championship game. Fresno State already clinched the Mountain West division. Now this one, Boise State, Utah State trying to take on, whoever wins this game is going to win the Mountain West division. Utah State, they were going into weekend as the #1 scoring offense in the country. Boise State always has one of the best offenses in the country. It'll be on the blue field. Both teams are in the top 25. Both quarterbacks, Jordan Love for Utah State, Brett Ripien, one of the best of all time at Boise State, which is, I keep saying, that's saying a lot. They've had amazing quarterbacks at Boise State. This will be great. I'm going to go with Boise State to win, but this very well could go back and forth, 34-31. I don't know. So I think Boise State wins though. And the nightcap, Hawaii taking on San Diego State. Hawaii finally got to that bowl eligibility. San Diego State's got a great defense, not much of an offense. I'm actually going to go, even though Hawaii's got to travel to San Diego, I think Hawaii's offense will be a little too much for them, especially if Cole McDonald can get back on track. I think Hawaii should win, but that'll be a really interesting, end to the night there. So those are my Saturday previews. Check out my Friday previews. Check out my Stat Attack, and watch out for the video I'm gonna make breaking down the conference championship games and the race still going into the last week. Peace.